Hi guys, hope you all are well. Well, this is the time of year where I have to start moving my tutorials indoors thanks to Ohio's lovely wintry weather. So, this is going to be the scene that you'll be seeing most often unless I have the guts to go outside and endure the freezing cold, which trust me, I will. So, today I want to show you guys two iso-verse extension variations. The first one's going to be an iso-verse extension with a switch between isolations, and the second one's going to be an iso-verse extension with a toss. So first, let's take a look at our iso-verse extension with a switch. And in this, you're going to be switching between an outside and an inside isolation, giving this very unique and beautiful appeal. So with that, let's take a look at this in slow motion. So as we break this down in slow motion, there's two things to keep in mind. One is we're going to be keeping our face as our center point. So as we lift up, when we can no longer complete our isolation, we're going to be using our face as a center point in our hoop, so we're maintaining the same plane throughout. Second thing to keep in mind is that you'll be switching between an outside and an inside isolation. So as you can see here, I'm doing an inside isolation of my green hoop. I lift up and then I begin doing my outside isolation of my silver hoop. So you'll be continuously switching between the two as you can no longer finish the isolation. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at our iso-verse extension with a toss. So the iso-verse extension with a toss looks like this. You're doing your inside isolation, and as you can move no more, you're going to flick your wrist up to do a toss to continue doing a flawless, continuous iso-verse extension. So let's take a look at this in slow motion. So as we look at this in slow motion, there's two things to keep in mind. The first thing being that we will still be completing a normal isolation. So as I come to the end of the line, you can see that my hand that is isolated in the silver hoop is still allowing the hoop to roll across the back of my hand as we would in a traditional isolation. The second thing to keep in mind is that we will be doing a wrist flick in order to complete the toss, and we will be catching with the same hand. So, as we begin the isolation, you can see that I am drawing down, doing my inside isolation of my silver hoop. I come to the end where I can no longer move, and I allow the hoop to roll across the back of my hand in order to complete the toss, catching it with the same hand. Last thing I'm going to leave you guys with are two transitions and combinations in, out, and between these moves. So the first transition we're going to look at is going from our iso switch into an iso toss, and where we catch in our opposite hand, and you're now in wall play to begin doing what you'd like. Lastly, we have our iso-verse extension into a roll. So you do your toss, and instead of catching it with your hand, you're going to catch it with your chest and do a chest roll. Alright guys, well that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm right now planning to be teaching workshops in Indiana, Michigan, Chicago, and many other places, including Flow Festivals this summer. So please connect with me on my performance page on Facebook or any social media if you're interested in those dates. So with that, as always, happy flowing.